Hello, my name is Bailey Johnston. I'm going to be doing my case study number 2. So, my client's name for this is BRHA. He is 6 years old and he has an ASD diagnosis. His verbal ability, he is nonverbal, but he does do some short approximations verbally and uses an AAC device to talk using LAMP. Um, Some of his behaviors include aggression, biting, crying, dropping, and elopement. These functions, hypothesized functions, are denied access, escape, and attention. So, for this case study, we are going to be discussing the task list items of B7, socially mediation, B8, unconditioned, conditioned, and generalized punishers, B9, operant extinction, and B10, stimulus control. So for B7, socially mediated, this means when another person controls your access to reinforcement or punishment. So in regards to my case, the reinforcement and punishment come from me, the technician, and it is all socially mediated, such as using verbal reinforcement for completing program trials like praise, um, reinforcement for using his AAC device. So if he is, functionally communicating to be given access to something, such as saying like go, open, or maybe he wants to terminate an activity and he's telling me he's finished. I reinforce those as well as if he's appropriately asking for attention, like using his AAC device to ask for look, squeezes, or tickles. Um, Termination also from me, the technician working with him, is socially mediated because I am the one that is putting into place the punishment or like terminating um, the activity. So for him, termination of sand and Play-Doh because he does mouth these items, and after the first occurrence, we terminate it. Um, to continue, B8, unconditioned, conditioned, and generalized punishers. So for an unconditioned punisher, I put loud noises, so he'll cover his ears immediately. Um, I offer headphones to him when he does do this. So a conditioned punisher, I put a timer. So we use a timer to indicate transitions, but also for terminating preferred locations. So my client really likes the OT room. So I have to set a timer when we're in there because based on his intervention, he's only allowed 15 minutes in there. Um, and certain activities like sand, I also have to terminate as well. So this is like a learned behavior based on the timer being the stimuli, and he is learning that the timer in his preferred locations means I have to leave my preferred location, and I don't want to do that. So I also included timers for generalized condition punisher because although we're using it to terminate preferred locations, we're also using it to leave non preferred areas. This can also be reinforcing for him. So um, it's generalized in a way that it can be conditioned. Um, for these preferred locations and non-preferred locations. So he used to have a program where he had to stay in the location for 1 minute before transitioning out. So he really didn't care for the sensory room. So he would ask to leave, but I would have to tell him that we're going to wait 1 minute and then he would wait and then the timer would go off and he would be given access out of that room. I also offer him choices of what is available. Like we can go to the classroom or we can go to gym once the sensory room is done. So moving on to operant extinction. This means no longer reinforcing any behavior that was previously reinforced to decrease the behavior in the future. So some examples of positive reinforcement of extinction, I included um, some of his functions. So denied access. So The extinction of denied access for him would still be denying access. Um, we'd also focus on some reactive strategies like offering choices of what is available in that what he can have access to. For attention, the extinction would be ignoring or not giving attention. We'd also redirect him to use his AAC to ask for what he wants. Um, maybe it's tickles or squeezes or to look or whatever. Um, so a negative reinforcement extinction for escape behaviors would be still following through, so no escape and reinforcing appropriate behavior afterwards as a consequence strategy. Um, we do not I did not include automatic reinforcement because that is not one of his functions of behavior. Um, but at my center, we don't block automatic reinforcement, so you'd never really see that on extinction unless it is dangerous or it is really interfering with their learning. So, also some assessments that were used to come up with these extinction interventions for his functions of behavior um, include ABC data. We do the FAST assessment and the QABF assessment. So his behaviors are socially mediated, so they get his wants and needs met, and it is his way of communicating. So we put into place teaching replacement behaviors. A lot of his replacement behaviors do include functional communication training as well. To continue, stimulus control for B10. So it's acquired when a discriminative operant or a learned behavior occurs in the presence of the SD and doesn't occur in the absence or in the presence of the stimuli. Um, so, for example, grabbing his AAC device was one of the programs we were working on. So, I've previously given the instruction or SD grab your words when the timer goes off for the area we are in to signal the transition. Now I have faded out that verbal prompt and he will just grab his tablet to transition without the presence of the SD or timer if he is ready to go. Um, also, manning for missing items, we would work on this in contrived situations during programming, and now it is happening in naturally in the absence of the SD. Um, Before I would be asking what do we need if we were playing with maybe a car track and we were missing a car, but now he is doing it, all the time, so in the absence of the SD or in the absence or presence of other materials, so nothing has to be present and he'll be asking for something. Thank you. That is it.